Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything from hair to fashion to skincare products. We'll talk about the latest trends in makeup, hairstyles, and anti-aging remedies. And we'll cover all of the newest fashion trends. If you have an interest in or questions about the beauty and fashion trends that might work best for you, the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast has got you covered.
Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Beauty Tips Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, drag queen, student, overall great person, Jaden. My drag name is Shear Stud, as we know. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. As you guys know, it's been a while since the last one. We took a short little break, but we're back. In part of this episode, what I want to talk to you guys about is a little bit about how I've been doing. Since it's been a while since we've talked, let's just, get to know each other a little bit more, right? I also want to talk to you guys about tattoo placements. So one thing I'm going to talk about and we'll further discuss is I recently got my first tattoo, and I want to talk about it because I have a lot of things to say. Next, I want to finish reviewing the promotion looks from RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, which, if you know, it's like RuPaul's Drag Race, but in Australia. So I'm very curious to go through the remaining 5 queens. In the previous episode, we went through the first 5, and in this episode, we'll go through the last 5. And stay tuned till the end of the show, where it is everybody's favorite segment, Top 10 Celebrity Looks of the Week. So just jumping into how my time away from life has been. Took a little bit of a vacation and was kind of dealing with some things, but we're back. So last episode, I kind of talked to you guys about how I was going on a trip to San Jose. I had never been to San Jose, and so I was very excited to go. Well, the trip happened. Hi, I'm back. And it was a really fun trip. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what I did when I was in San Jose. We stayed in this Airbnb that was like 10 minutes away from downtown, maybe 15 minutes away from Santana Row. Like, it was perfect. So we first get to the Airbnb, my cousin and I, and we, this was both of our first times getting an Airbnb. So we were like, we don't really know, what to do. How should we, make sure that we're safe, right? So I Googled, safety checklist Airbnb or something, right? And I'm, going through the checklist, and it's, check that these are here, that they have this and this, whatever, right? And then I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. The Airbnb, houses are supposed to come equipped with, certain things, utensils or something, right? I was more concerned about there being someone else in the house, whether there was another person or whether there was a camera or there was those weird two-way mirrors or something. That's what I was concerned about. So I looked up ways to look for hidden cameras, right? And the only thing that I found, there wasn't really a free app, because I was really looking for an app because I didn't really trust just using my eyes or whatever, right? I was I want to use something that'll detect suspicious activity, you feel me? And so I got this app, and I had to pay $2 for this app, and it pretty much just senses cameras, I guess. I'm really not entirely sure what I paid for. So I got the app, and I walk around the house, and I'm putting it everywhere across the walls, up near the ceiling and all the vents, in the closets and stuff like that. And luckily, thank God, there was no spike in the little chart that it was giving me. So there were no cameras. But there were a lot of mirrors in the house. And not like big mirrors. There was one that was like over the couch that was kind of big. But I was still scared that like, I don't know, like there's like a secret room or something. I don't know. I'm just paranoid, right? And so I looked up ways to like check the mirror. And in case you didn't know this, what you can do is like, if you take your phone, I saw this on a TikTok. You take your phone camera and you put it to the mirror, like lens on the glass. And if it's a two-way mirror, then you'll see through to the other side. And then you'll see what's on the other side. But if it's not, then I think it just goes black because it's like reflecting like your camera. So I decided to try that. And as you can imagine, there were no two-way mirrors. They were just regular mirrors. So that was an interesting start to the vacation weekend, right? And so then eventually we're just hanging around, waiting, and we're like, damn, like it's kind of hot. It's actually like really hot. And so we go to turn on the AC. And girl, let me tell you, their AC system was so outdated. It was so outdated. And I don't know if it's because I come from like a construction background or like you know how you can kind of just tell. Like if somebody has like, I don't know, the Nest thermostat, like that's a new thermostat, as opposed to like those old ones that have like the sliding thing where you like turn the dial to set the temperature. You know what I mean? Like those ones that are a little bit more old school. It had one of those. And I was like, oh, okay. So I imagine if the thermostat looks kind of old, the HVAC system itself is probably really old. And I was like, and it's probably not going to work that well. So we turn on the AC, and I don't hear any noise. I don't hear the AC turn on. This was like after like 15, 20 minutes. I don't hear anything happening. So I look at my cousin. I say, hey, girl. I said, do you want to message like the owner and just be like, hey, AC's not working? She was like, yeah. So we messaged the owner, and then we're waiting. And eventually they're like, oh, there is no AC. And we were like, oh. Well, we didn't know that. And then I was like, is this new information? And so then I went back to the Airbnb listing. I was looking at it, and it said that they had heat, but no AC. And we all kind of just assumed that if there was a heater, there was an AC. I guess now we know for the future that you really can't make that assumption. But overall, it was a fun trip. That was the first day. We didn't do too much the first day because our check-in time was like 4 or 4:30. And just by the time we got back, or by the time we got to the Airbnb, we were just so tired and didn't really feel like doing anything. And that was Friday. However, on Saturday is when the party started. We all got up super early. I'm just kidding. We didn't get up that early. We got up at like 9 o'clock. And we were like, let's go get some coffee, right? Because we're in a new city. Like, let's just go have some fun and like explore. So we go to this cute little coffee shop. It's called Voyage Coffee. And if you follow me on Instagram, I was posting the whole trip, right? I was posting photos. I was taking photos. And this coffee shop was the cutest coffee shop I had ever seen. It was so big, and it was like this industrial, open ceiling, open floor plan kind of thing that I'm just obsessed with. The coffee was pretty good. I tried my cousins, I tried my friends, and theirs was pretty good. However, my coffee, this was user error. This has nothing to do with the people at Voyage Coffee. Matter of fact, people from Voyage Coffee, if you're listening, I love you. Please come to Sacramento. I love you. I adore you. I ordered an iced, I almost said venti. Nope, that's Starbucks. An iced, oh my God, what did I order? It was an iced vanilla latte. That's what I ordered. It was an iced vanilla latte, the 16 ounce, which was the only size that they had for their iced drinks. So I was like, that's fine. I said, how many shots of espresso come in there? They said 2. I said, 2? I was like, it's going to be a long day. I said, let me get 4. In hindsight, I think that was probably my mistake. because 16 ounces of coffee with 4 shots of espresso, like the 4 shots of espresso are going to take up most of the 16 ounces. And so you're not going to have any other flavor of the vanilla or even of the milk that they put in there. Like, you're just going to get espresso. So I got the drink and I take a single sip of it. And it feels like I just got punched in the face. Like, you know how Starbucks on their cups, like their cups say like that first sip feeling? It was very that, except I was in pain. Like, it felt like my taste buds were being electrocuted. And I was like, oh, okay. This is not what I was expecting. I was like, but we're going to drink it anyways. It was like a $5 coffee. So I'm drinking it, and my cousin was like, can I try yours? Like, is it good? I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Here. So then I let her try it. And so she works at a coffee shop, and she very frequently drinks coffee. Her drink of choice is like, well, I don't know what it is now, but at one point it was like espresso over ice with like vanilla syrup on top. Like, it was disgusting. It was something like that. And so she took a sip and was like, oh my God, this coffee is horrible. Like, it's really strong. And she's like, you like it? And like, me being me and didn't want to admit that I like made a mistake, I was like, yeah, it's so good. It's great. And then our friend Julie tried it and she was like, yeah, girl, no, like, this is absolute garbage. And then she was like, try this. And she got like a chai tea latte or something. So I tried hers and I was like, oh, God, hers is really good. And so then she was like, you need to use this chai tea latte as a chaser for your coffee. And I was like, I honestly think I do, because like, I was having such a hard time drinking it. It was so bitter and it was so gross. But luckily we went back to the same coffee shop the next day, and I got the iced chai tea latte, the same one that Julie got, and it was bussin'. It was so good. I was so glad that they got their redemption. So like I said before, Voyage Coffee, I love you. I'm obsessed with you. Later on Saturday, we were kind of exploring downtown a teeny tiny little bit. We didn't go downtown too much. But we were in Santana Row because there was this restaurant. I cannot remember for the life of me what it is called, but it was like right in the heart of Santana Row. And it was so good. We took so many pictures. Julie and my cousin had mimosas. I had to stand there and watch because for legal reasons, I'm not able to participate in certain activities that involve alcohol. But it's fine. I still had fun. And later on that night, I got into drag just while we were at the Airbnb. I got into drag for the first time in like 2 months. And it was incredible. I want to say I was like dancing around the Airbnb in drag for like 2 hours, like nonstop, back and forth in high heels, like 6-7 inch heels, just making my mark on this Airbnb. I was having so much fun, was listening to music, and it was just a grand old time. And I remember in the last episode, I said, I'm going to take so many photos. I'm going to film so many TikToks. I'm going to get so much done. That didn't happen. I got in drag, had fun, didn't take any photos, didn't take any videos, but that's okay because I enjoyed being in drag. And it did remind me of how much fun I have being in drag. So it was a good reminder of the things that I love to do. So that was Saturday night. Sunday was the day that we were leaving. And my cousin and I had been discussing for a long time getting matching tattoos. We're both Geminis, so we were like, let's get a Gemini tattoo, right? Because, like, that's fun. And we end up finding some random tattoo shop, and she gets hers first, and I decide that I want a couple more tattoos, not just the one Gemini tattoo. So what I got is I got my sun, moon, and my rising on the inside, or like the outside of my finger on my dominant hand. So I'm a Gemini sun, Virgo moon, or Aries rising. I said Aries rising. I can't remember the rest of my placements. It's somewhere in my phone. But if you're interested in the rest of my placement, let me know, and I can for surely talk about it. So I love talking about astrology. So I got my top 3 on my right hand, and on my left forearm, going down my forearm from my elbow, like towards my wrist, I got the phases of the moon, which took forever. For these tattoos, I want to say these are 4 tattoos, right? The 3 on my finger and like the one big one on my arm took about 2 hours, but they're like really simple designs. Like they're not anything complicated, which is why we kind of just went to some random tattoo artist. So that was about like 2 weeks ago. So my healing period is over. And, mama, these tattoos are garbage. They don't look right. I'm looking at the Gemini one. If you know the Gemini symbol, it's like the Roman numeral number 2. Except on my tattoo, one of the lines is fully missing. So it's like the Roman numeral 2, but the line that's on the right is just not there. So I'm definitely going to have to go get that fixed. But other than that, I think getting tattoos was a lot of fun. And I'm definitely ready for my next ones already. I totally understand how people get addicted to having their tattoos. Speaking of tattoos, stay tuned till after the break, where I want to talk to you about tattoo placement and kind of what it says about you and some generalizations about your personality. I found an article from Cosmopolitan that was talking about like how the different placements of your tattoos represent like different things, right? Like lower back tattoo on a girl means that she's like fun and like flirtatious and likes to have a lot of fun. But the definition for a guy would be a little bit different. You feel me? So we're going to go through those because I think that's going to be a whole lot of fun. So stay tuned for after the break and we'll discuss.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. So prior to the break, we talked about myself because there's nothing more that I love than talking about myself. However, now I want to talk to you guys about tattoos. Like I said before, I recently got some tattoos and I was really struggling with where I wanted to put them. So this was an article that I didn't find until after. And so when I was reading them and kind of comparing it to where I actually got my tattoos, I was like, I wonder how accurate these are because some of them are, and there are some things that are and some things that aren't. So we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. So like I said, this article that I found goes through all the different types of tattoo locations. We have rib cage, lower back, upper back, calves, half sleeves, full sleeves, behind the behind the ear, and finger tattoos, and there's a bunch of them. So we're gonna go through them, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. One thing that I do want to say about Cosmopolitan is the way that they write their articles is very interesting. It's very similar to how I write in the way that it just seems like you're kind of having a conversation with somebody and that you're not necessarily reading something, right? So I'm honestly just going to read these exactly how they're written, and we'll talk about it. So first, let's start with rib cage. So also, side note, some of these are also separated, like male, female, but some of them aren't. So I assume that the ones that don't really specify a gender kind of encapsulate all of the genders, right? So this one says, girls who have tattoos on their rib cage are artistic and sensitive. They're also brave and confident about their bodies since they are always in bikinis and show off their tattoos on every photo. I can see how they came to this conclusion. However, I would kind of disagree. Artistic, yes. Sensitive, not so much. I think having a tattoo on your ribcage, just as a female, can kind of symbolize more of like a closer to home meaning, because I feel like when it comes to the body, like the central point of your body, like what's at the center is like your torso, right? So I think by having something kind of on your ribcage symbolizes more of like something connected to you, like at your core, right? So like maybe that could be tied to confidence, but I don't think it necessarily is, right? So the next one is going to be the lower back tattoo. The lower back tattoo says confident and sensually aware girl. Girls who have this tattoo are feminine, but they often regret getting it later. I think it's interesting that it immediately jumps to, if you have a tattoo on this location, you must be a girl because it's feminine. I don't agree with that, not even in the slightest. I think a lower back tattoo kind of has this stigma of being trashy, which I think is kind of dumb. I don't necessarily understand how the two are related, but I do think that a tattoo on your lower back is something that I don't understand the purpose of getting a tattoo somewhere where you wouldn't be able to look at it. You know what I mean? Like mine is on my hand, so I can just look at my hand, and it's on my forearm, so I can just look at my forearm. But if it's on my lower back, like I can't turn and like look unless like I have a mirror, right? But then it would have to be like reflected, right? So when it comes to confidence and being sensually aware with a lower back tattoo, Cosmopolitan, I'm sorry, but I disagree. Next is going to be front of the neck, which I think is interesting. So it says, if the tattoo is placed at the front of the neck, it means that the person is tough and open for everyone. This tattoo will always be noticed and isn't usually covered, so it brings attention and the person knows it. For this one, I would probably agree. This is also one of those tattoos that you can't really see unless you're looking at a mirror. You can't look at your neck, right? Or like if you're taking a selfie, like it'll be there. So I feel like this is a tattoo that's strictly for other people to enjoy. And so I think it is, I would agree, for people who are more tough and like, I don't want to say necessarily masculine because the placement of the tattoo doesn't dictate if it's masculine or not. I would say like what the tattoo is dictates if it's masculine or not. So next is going to be the nape of the neck. The nape of the neck is a popular place for girls who want to hide it with their hair whenever they want and expose it when they want. They want the freedom to change their opinion and get away without the consequences. I can see that. Just like I said, I don't understand the reason for getting tattoos in places that you wouldn't be able to see them, because then I feel like at that point the tattoo is like for somebody else. Of course, like it does depend on like what it is, but I can't imagine that you would get something on the nape of your neck that like really, really, really means a lot to you, because then you would want to look at it, if that makes any sense. So next is going to be finger tattoos, which is what I have. Finger tattoos are not so common, so the person having it is probably unique, but also futuristic. They are bold because they are not afraid to show off their tattoo, even in their professional life. So when I read this, I was like, okay, I can totally see that, like how the person is like really unique and like really bold and like really out there, right? But so all of my tattoos, my finger tattoos, are on my 3 fingers, my pointer, middle, and my ring finger. However, they're facing on the outside. So if I were to like put my like finger up to my mouth and be like, shh, right? Then the Virgo symbol is facing out so that whoever's in front of me is seeing the tattoo, right? So it's like that on all of my fingers. They're all facing away from me. So that means that when I close my hand from the front, like looking at my palm, you can't see them. Even looking at the back of my hand, you can't see them. So you can really only see them if like my hands are spread and like to the side, right? Which is what I wanted. I didn't want, like I wanted tattoos in places where I could see them, but also places that I could hide them, right? But because I wanted something small and something simple, I didn't want to put them like on my legs or like my thighs or anything like that. Because they were too simple. They're really like small, right? So I would agree with finger tattoos for the most part. Moving on to the next tattoo that I also have is the forearm tattoo. A serious tattoo on the forearm says that the person is strong and tough. If the tattoo is sweet and girly, it means that the person might look tough on the outside, but they're really emotionally deep inside. This place has become a favorite for both men and women recently. Many get the tattoo to stress their toned muscles. Now, I would say, well, maybe I'm not the one to say this. I don't know if I would classify the phases of the moon, like, I don't know if that's considered a serious tattoo or like a sweet and girly one, right? Because if you take it at like face value and it's just like, oh, like it's just the moon, like I can see like, yeah, that's sweet and girly. But like the meaning behind it, right, which I don't feel like getting into, the meaning behind it, I feel like is a little bit more like serious, right? You feel me? So I don't necessarily know. I don't think people would get this on their forearm to stress their toned muscles, only because like your forearm doesn't really get like muscles like that. Like it doesn't get like your bicep, like when you flex, like you can see the muscle and you can see like the different shapes and like the different like lines and stuff, right? You feel me? But your forearm doesn't really have that. So I don't really understand that. And let's see, what else does this say? Strong and tough. I don't really know, because I would say like, relatively speaking, I'm a strong person, but I wouldn't say that I'm tough. Like not by any means. But if you're a person who has a tattoo on their forearm that isn't tough and that isn't strong, let me know. I also think that when it says strong, I don't think it necessarily means physically strong. I think it's more like a mentally strong kind of thing. All right, the next one is going to be behind the ear. Personally, I think behind the ear tattoos are kind of cute. I think like if I were to get like my Gemini one or my top 3 tattoos anywhere else, behind the ear would probably be cute. Outside of my wrist, maybe. But we'll also talk about the wrist. Okay, behind the ear. Let's see. These tattoos tend to be sweet and small, often hidden and not too much exposed. People with a tattoo behind their ear are free spirits. However, they are careful not to be too exposed. They want to show it off, but they also want the choice to hide it if they want to. I would agree with that. I feel like any tattoo that can be covered with your hair is a tattoo that you can kind of pick and choose when people see it. Same thing for a tattoo that's on the wrist or like anywhere higher, like your forearm, right? Because you can either wear a t-shirt and show people, or if you wear a hoodie, nobody's going to see it. If you have your hair up, like let's say you have long hair and you have a behind the ear tattoo. If you have long hair and you wear your hair down, you're not going to see it. But if you wear your hair up, the people are going to see it. So I think I can see how it would be free-spirited people, because you kind of have options to like toy with it a little bit. And if you don't want people at work to know that you have a tattoo behind your ear, then just wear your hair down. It's full circle. So Next, I want to talk about wrist tattoos. My cousin, her name is Nina. I've talked about her before. She got her Gemini tattoo on the outside of her wrist. So again, like if she's holding up a fist, it's facing towards the person standing in front of her. Girls who chose wrist for a tattoo, girls usually choose wrist for a tattoo. They are girls who want to be different and have a unique, which is in quotes, tattoo, but are not bold enough to have a larger tattoo that is more visible. However, they will use every moment to show it off on pictures or by playing with their hair. I thought that was really interesting because I didn't even think about that. Like, personally, when I wear wigs, I'm constantly touching my hair. I'm constantly adjusting the hair, like zhuzhing it up a little bit and whatever. And so then like the outside of my wrist is completely exposed because you can see it. And I also think it makes for cute pictures for girls to be like messing with their hair and then like a candid photo of them like playing with their hair, right? I think those photos are cute. So I think that like tattoos on the outside of your wrist, I think are really cute. I think depending on what they are, you do also have to be careful because I remember when the tattoo artist put the stencil on my cousin, I think I looked at it. Like, I think she showed it to me to see like if it was too big or like what was wrong with it. And one of the problems was that it wasn't like straight up, right? Because it was kind of like slanted a little bit. And so I told her to straighten out her wrist so that it's as straight as possible. And then get the tattoo. And then like however her wrist like naturally lays is whatever shape the tattoo will take, right? Because if you get it straight while your hand is like bent, then when you put your hand straight, it's not going to look right. Or you're going to have a harder time to like show people because it's going to look crooked and it's just not going to look cute. But I think wrist tattoos, 10 out of 10. I would say, however, tattoos on the wrist are a little bit more feminine. So if you don't want a tattoo that's too feminine, I would probably avoid going for wrist tattoos. So next is going to be thigh tattoos. The thigh tattoo usually has a sentimental value. It's also mysterious because this part is not usually exposed and the person can choose when to show it. This placement also means that the person is fashionable because it's a trendy placement. It will soon become a typical tattoo placement though. This placement also means that the person is fashionable because it's a trendy placement. Oh, that's written in here twice. I can see that. I would probably agree with that. I've only ever seen thigh tattoos on people who identify as more masculine or people who identify as male. And personally, I think thigh tattoos are kind of hot. But I don't want to get into that. Not too much. I don't know why. Just something about that placement. I think it is a good placement because if you're like me and you have big-ass thighs, you have a whole lot of space to work with. And so I would say, like, if I were to get another, like, big tattoo, I would either want it, like, on my arm, like, near, like, the phases of the moon, or probably on my thighs. The one thing that I've talked about before is that I'm a big fan of, like, the sticker kind of style of tattoo. Like, think, like, Amy Winehouse. She's the only person I can think of right now. Where it kind of just looks like people just took, like, random stickers and just, like, put them on her. Like, I really like that style, and I think, like, your thighs are, like, a really good place for that. All right, so we've talked about tattoo placement, and there's plenty of other body parts that I could go through. So if you guys want me to keep going with these, definitely let me know, because I do have a lot of thoughts on these. After the break, I want to talk to you guys about the remaining 5 queens from RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. Girl, let me tell you, these outfits, they're something. Stay tuned.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. are. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for listening. Let's talk about Drag Race. The reunion for season 13 of US Drag Race aired last night. I haven't seen it yet, but the reviews from Twitter, they're saying that it was garbage. And I'm very curious. I think next episode, I definitely want to talk about the reunion once I watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but I do definitely want to watch it and give you my thoughts on it. I don't know if it's going to be like really like fashion heavy, or if it's going to be like super draggy, or if they're just going to be talking about the show. So depending on how it goes, we'll see what about the reunion I talk about. However, for this part of the show, I want to talk about Drag Race Down Under. Last episode, we went through the first set of 5 queens, and now we're going to do the second set of queens. So, in this 5, we have Coco Jumbo, we have Karen from Finance, Elektra Shock, Scarlett Adams, and this name is incredible, etc., etc. Let's first start with Miss Coco Jumbo. So, I haven't seen the Meet the Queens for Drag Race Down Under, so I literally don't know anything about these queens other than what they look like in their promo photos. However, they all look very nice. They all look like lovely people. But we're here to talk about the fashion, right? So, starting off with Miss Coco Jumbo, she's wearing a nude heel, not necessarily her shade of nude, but a nude for somebody. Stockings, pantyhose, as every drag queen wears. I want to say I have like 10 pairs of them, but I only ever wear like 4 at a time when I'm in drag. And she's wearing like this purple kind of dress. It almost looks like this like reflective like metal material, so it's like purple and gold, and the gold accents throughout the outfit do look a little reflective, but I can't tell what they're reflecting. I can't tell if it's like reflecting something in front of her or if it's just like, I don't know, I can't really tell. She has these little like poofy little shoulders. They don't look like they're attached to the dress, but they are the same fabric. When you were younger and you would go to the swimming pool and you had those floaties that are just on like the biceps of your arm? They're like that. It looks like that's what she's wearing. And the bag, that little handbag that she's wearing, it's a normal size bag. Previously, we have seen tiny bags. This is a normal sized one. It doesn't look like a normal like handbag. It almost looks like Crown Royal, the alcohol. You know how it comes in like a bag? It kind of looks like that. Except there's a chain on there as like the handle. So it's very similar to Crown Royal. I'm not sure how I feel about this outfit. She does have a nice shape, and I feel like her proportions are pretty good. I feel like she could go a little bit further with it, though. I don't know. I'm always like, I always want drag queens to have like the tiniest waist. Only because I know that like with the proper corset and the proper hip pads, like you can look snatched. And I do have some photos where I do look that snatched, but I also have photos where I don't. So I think this could just be one of those moments where it's just not a good day for the body, which, girl, we've all been there. I totally get it. She has nails. They're a little short. They're painted white. But as famous drag queen Alaska once said, if you're not wearing nails, you're not doing drag. Which, okay, I can see that. Speaking of nails, I remember in a previous episode, I was talking about how I had acrylic nails. However, I no longer have them on. I got my nails done before my San Jose trip. And then, like 2 or 3 weeks later, I took them off. So, like, yesterday, I, took them off. There is still a bunch of, leftover, acrylic on my nails. Because I did, the soaking method, where you soak them, and then you file them, then you soak them, and then you scrape them. You soak them, and then you scrape them. So I was doing that method. I want to say that took me, 3 hours. I just watched, a Marvel movie or something. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, okay, so her nails are painted white. It doesn't look like she's wearing fake nails, like acrylics or press-ons or anything like that. It just looks like she just painted her natural nail, which is fine. I think a good accent to any outfit is either a black or white nail polish. If you're in a hurry, you don't want anything crazy, black or white nail polish is the way to go. Because Miss Coco Jumbo is wearing I would say it's like a royal purple, kind of a dark dress, then I think the white nails are good because they kind of pop a little bit, especially because she has a hand on her hip, one hand fixing her hair or something. Speaking of her hair, it's a brownish, I would say it's like a hazel colored wig. I'm not sure how I feel about it, only because there's not as much volume or length that I want. I want it to be a little bit bigger. I want it to be longer. Coco Jumbo is a little bit on the bigger side, and her face is a little bit more round. And so I feel like with rounder shaped heads and kind of a bigger body, you need bigger hair, right? Does that make sense? Because it'll kind of even out your proportions a little bit. And I would say just given the proportions of her body and what she's wearing, the wig is just a little too small. Her makeup is pretty good. Based on this photo, I can't really see anything wrong with it. Typically with drag queens, the end the final result of their makeup really isn't that bad. It's watching the process, watching their process when they get ready to putting their makeup on. That's usually when, it hits the fan and, they kind of look a little crazy. So I'm curious to watch the show and see, how the process of putting on their makeup goes. And not just for Coco Jumbo. It really applies to anybody. I'm really interested in seeing how Australia does things. So I'm excited for that. The next queen is going to be Karen from Finance. Great name, 10 out of 10 name. I've heard it before. I've heard that name somewhere before, but I don't know where. I definitely didn't know somebody named Karen who worked in a finance department. It was definitely a drag name. So I have heard this name, but I don't recognize this queen. You know what I'm saying? So again, similar to Coco Jumbo, we have a nude heel. Actually, I would say this is probably her nude. It's a pretty good color. She's a little bit more pale. I'm looking at her hands, and they are looking a little pale. Oh, she has a hand tattoo. That's cute. So the outfit that she's wearing is a light blue suit that's, lace, I guess. I don't know. I can't really tell if it's lace or more of, a floral pattern a little bit, or if it's, sequins. I really don't know what this is. Her proportions are incredible. The jacket that she's wearing kind of flares out at the hips, so it gives her, again, that really defined hourglass shape without having to wear hip pads. Even though I do think she is wearing hip pads, it just, like I said, helps to like really exaggerate that teeny tiny little waist. Her hat is so cute. It looks like it's made of the same material as her, what is it called? You tie it around your neck. Ascot. It's the same fabric as that. So it's like this like flesh tone kind of color. It's just really cute. Makeup and hair, 10 out of 10. It looks like she has nails too. Those are either press-ons or acrylics because they curve down, kind of like a hook. Makes me think that they might be press-ons. But they're like a nude color. Nothing crazy. Okay, next I want to talk about these two queens together. Because they give me the exact same vibe. You know what I mean? And that is Elektra Shock and Scarlett Adams. I don't know if it's because they're both wearing red. Like, the outfits are literally nothing alike. Like, they literally could not be more different. Elektra Shock is wearing, like, this, like, bondage kind of... It looks like she's just, like, tied up with, like, ribbons that go, like, around her hips, around her stomach, kind of cross and go, like, around, like, her breastplate. Really poofy sleeves and, like, a train, right? And then you look over at Scarlett Adams, and she's wearing a suit similar to Karen from Finance, except hers is, like, this deep, deep red. It's not lace. It's not sequined. It's not shiny. It's not reflective. It's not anything crazy like that. Just a simple red suit. I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but like I'm looking at like their faces too, and it's giving me like, I wonder. They could be twins, but you know that's not very likely. So they're both wearing red shoes. However, Miss Elektra Shock, it looks like hers are polka dot red, while Miss Scarlett Adams are solid like ruby red, which there's nothing wrong with. I'm a fan, I would say. Yeah. Elektra Shock, let's dive into her outfit. She's wearing like this nude illusion rhinestone bodysuit that has like little accents of red. I can't remember for the life of me what Britney Spears video it is where she's like on the I want to say Toxic, where she's wearing a nude illusion suit and there's rhinestones on it. It looks just like that. It could be like an exact replica. Even looking at her legs, if you kind of look closely, I can't tell if they're rhinestone or if she's wearing like fishnet leggings. I think it's okay. It's a little simple. Her hands are right at her, like where her waist would be cinched in. So I can't necessarily tell how cinched she is, but she's not wearing hip pads. So I can't imagine that the body is going to be there for me. For me personally, what I'm looking for in a drag queen, like I said, big hair, tiny waist. This hair, it's not big, and the waist, it's not tiny. The big, like, ruffle sleeves, this whole outfit just seems like somebody took different pieces from good outfits and pieced them together in a way that wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like, the bodysuit on its own is cute. The red ribbon bondage moment that she has wrapping around her is good on its own. These ruffled sleeves that go into a train, it kind of looks like a bathrobe. Or not a bathrobe, but like it looks like sleepwear, right? And she has these like nipple tassels that are in the shape of hearts that have tassels at the end of it. And like these like shiny diamond like clasp. I don't even know what that is. It's like goes around her boob. I don't know what that is. I don't like this outfit. I don't like this outfit at all. I think the jewelry that she's wearing around her neck, I think, is too big. It might be to cover the breastplate. Let's zoom in on the makeup. Okay, so zooming in on the makeup, it's not as bad as I thought it was. She's wearing a simple blonde wig. It looks, I don't know how she did it, but she made probably a synthetic wig look damaged. like it was a damaged human hair. Okay, I don't mean to, like, be mean to this queen, but, like, this look is just not it. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I don't like the outfit. I'm curious to see what this queen does. Just because I don't like this outfit doesn't mean I don't like the queen. I don't even know her. All right, so our last and final queen is going to be etc., etc. So this group of 5 queens, right? So let's talk about the colors. Coco Jumbo, purple. Karen from Finance, blue. Elektra Shock, Scarlett Adams, red. Etc., brown. You see? So it stood out to me, right? So I saw this and it immediately stood out. And I was like, girl, what is she doing, right? Because she has these, like, antennas on her head. I see antennas. I see brown. I think cockroach. And that might be the look that she was going for with this. I can't really tell. She's wearing this bodysuit that has, like, little flares down at her hips, but they don't flare out. They flare down. It does give her an interesting shape. I think the chest part of it, where, like, it kind of goes into a point, I think is a little weird. The gloves are rhinestoned, but they look almost like socks. Like she's wearing socks on her hands. No hip pads from what I can tell. No breastplate from what I can tell. But it does look like she contoured on some boobs. Either that or etc., out of drag just has phenomenal pecs. And I like the hair. I'm not mad at it. It's like a nice short, simple hair. If it's cockroach inspired, it's a good look. If it's not cockroach inspired, then I don't get it. So we'll see. I think when I watch them meet the queens, they might explain it. But like I said, we'll see. So those were the second half of the queens for RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. Stay tuned till after the break, where I want to talk to you guys about the celebrity looks from this week. Unfortunately, it hasn't been a good week for the celebrities. I was kind of struggling. But we'll talk about it, so stay tuned.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for staying tuned. We are almost done with this episode. However, we're not done yet. You haven't gotten rid of me quite yet. We still need to talk about the celebrity looks from this past week. So, at the time of recording this, it is Saturday, April 17th, right? So these are all the looks from this past week, obviously. So, this list is in no particular order. These aren't necessarily my rankings. These are just outfits that I would deem the top 10 of all celebrity looks, right? So let's just get started. A lot of the names we've heard before. We've seen these people before. A trend that I'm noticing is during quarantine, a lot of these people are stepping it up. I don't know what it is about a pandemic that just makes these girls work, but I have nothing but time for it. Matter of fact, I have time set aside for it because I love it. I love the energy that they're putting into it, the creative aspect of it. I just love it. Like, and plus all of these outfits are so different. Okay, actually I'm looking at it and 3 of these outfits are kind of pretty similar, but most of them are pretty different. Let's jump into it. Let's first talk about Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria. Sydney, if you're listening, I love you. Just because I'm gay, I'll still marry you. You don't have to ask twice, literally for anything. Okay, let's talk about the outfit. Anyways, so this outfit, when I looked at Sydney Sweeney's Instagram, I didn't remember like seeing her post this past week. So I was really surprised when I saw that she had a recent post. And this outfit, it is so cute. She's wearing like this yellow, like really loose, like really flowy, like ruffly type of dress that, okay, how can I explain this? So, you know, when you tie-dye a t-shirt and you like bring all of like the folds into like one spot to create that kind of like pleated design, it looks like somebody did that with this fabric. And then they put a belt in the middle of it and then put it on Sydney Sweeney. Does that make sense? So it's like a pleated kind of textured moment, right? It's off the shoulder and I love it. I love this shade of yellow. It's like not quite a mustard yellow, not quite like a light yellow, like a bright one, but it's just like a nice in-between. And the background of this photo is like this kind of like teal blue color that really, really complements the yellow. And Sydney Sweeney is just gorgeous. Like, her face is gorgeous. Her makeup is on point. It's very simple. It's very subtle. It's very natural. And her hair, it looks like she has these like clips in her hair, which I'm obsessed with. I think it's such a fun, like summer, like spring type of outfit. Overall, 10 out of 10. Next, we have Miss Olivia Rodrigo. She just came out with a new song, Deja Vu. I remember when I first heard the song Deja Vu, I didn't realize that it was her song. And I was like, okay, like this is fine. This is a fine song. And then I found out that it was Olivia Rodrigo. And then I listened to it again. And then I fell in love. I don't know what it is about this girl, but like her personality just makes the music so much better. And like even the song itself is great. I don't know. I would say I like it more than Driver's License, only because I'm kind of sick of Driver's License. I've listened to it a million times. That's not anybody's fault. That's my own fault. I clicked play on that song about 1 million times. But I'm absolutely ready to do that again with Deja Vu. It's a great song. I'm very excited for her EP, or for her album. I don't remember what she's coming out with. Anyways, this outfit is very cute. Olivia Rodrigo is I would say, yeah, she's pretty young. She's 2 years younger than me. And I think this outfit is very youthful. She's wearing what looks to be slip-on Vans with, like, crew socks that go up to, like, her shin. And it looks like she's wearing a mini skirt. And in the photo, I can't really tell the design of it because she's sitting down. And she has, like, a guitar kind of covering it. But it looks a little bit purple and, like, floral, maybe? I can't really tell. I do really like the color, and if it's the length that I'm imagining in my head, then I think it's pretty good. The top is really interesting. It's like this weird, like, tie-dye, like, geometric, comic book kind of, like, design. It's a lot of, like, jagged lines and a lot of zigzags and a lot of different colors. The main ones that I'm seeing are, like, blue, green, purple, a little bit of pink. I really like it. It's really interesting to look at. She has a couple necklaces on. I'm pretty sure the jewelry that she wears has, like, a special meaning to her. Like they have, like, really high sentimental value. Like, the necklaces and the rings. And I think she has the right amount of jewelry on, too. I think it's the perfect amount. Like, her hands don't look overcrowded with rings. Her neck doesn't look like there's too many necklaces. I think it's a good balance. I'm kind of obsessed with her hair. Her hair is really long. It looks like it's going, like, if she's sitting up straight, it kind of looks like it's going, like, almost like to her belly button. It's really long. It's really nice and wavy. She has these 2 clips on, like, the side of her hair to, like, kind of keep it out of the way. I need to invest in clips like that for when I wear wigs. Because when I style my own wigs, a problem that I face is, like, the hairline, right? Which is, like, literally the most important part. And I really struggle with, like, keeping the hair, like, out of my face. Because, like, when I'm in drag, like, I want you to focus on, like, my makeup. And if my hair is, like, covering too much of my face, then you can't even see it. And I think using these hair clips is a good way to keep your hair out of your face while also looking super duper cute. Next on the list is going to be SZA. So, the first thing that I noticed about this photo is her hair. Her hair is like this red color. I would say it's like a reddish orange. And that's not what's interesting about it. What's interesting to me is the way that it's cut. Only because I wish that I could cut hair like this. I wish I had a wig that looked like this. I wish I had, like, hair that grew out of my head that looked like this. But, unfortunately, that's just it's not part of my reality. And that's fine. So the hair is layered like crazy. To the point where, like, you can see the separate layers, like, kind of, like, alongside of her face. Because, obviously, down towards the bottom, it's going to be the longest. And up closest to her face, they're going to be a lot shorter. Because they're, like, framing the face, right? I think it's really interesting that you can see all of these layers. And that it doesn't look crazy. Because I have tried, trust and believe that I have tried to have hair that kind of looks like this. To, like, cut a wig that looks like this. And it just doesn't work. And I just don't understand why. I have tried watching YouTube videos. I've tried asking people who style hair. And I just can't do it. It just doesn't make sense to me. The outfit that she's wearing is pretty simple. It's just a simple white dress. Her hair is covering her shoulders, so I can't tell like what the strap is. I imagine it's like a spaghetti strap dress, so it's not anything crazy. It's not like a tank top style. The main reason why I liked this entire outfit was because of the hair. Yeah, I think it's cute. Next is going to be Miss Madison Beer. The reason why I picked this photo of Miss Madison is because I feel like I've seen this outfit before on her. Like, the exact same outfit. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with, like, wearing an outfit twice. But the way that she was kind of showing it off, like, I was kind of surprised. It also makes me think that I've maybe seen this outfit on somebody else. Or maybe it was hers. She just, like, had it in a different color or something. But basically, it's, like, this ruffled white, like, bodysuit? Not necessarily. It's like, so it's a dress. But in the center of it is a white corset. And let me tell you, this girl is cinched in. That waist is definitely tiny. Yeah, Madison Beer very much gives me the vibe of, like, a fairy, right? And not fairy, like not the derogatory one. I mean, like a mythological creature. Think, like, Tinkerbell. Just something about her seems very, like, I don't know. Like, you should see the way that I'm moving. Like, I don't know how to verbally explain it. Very flowy and very, like, lighthearted and classy and, like, elegant, right? Her hair is really cute. It's something we've seen before. The location of the photo is very, like, old school. It gives me very much, like, Victorian era vibes, right? Next is Miss Megan Thee Stallion. So this outfit, I love. I know that she's referencing a character in an anime. Now, don't hate me, but I don't watch anime, so I don't understand the reference, but I still think it's a good outfit. It's also a good interpretation of the character because she also posted like who that character was. She has a pink wig with like a ponytail that's like on the very top of her head. It's got bangs. It's a little short. I love it. Her glasses are giving me very much like Y2K vibes, Chanel. Like, I love it. Long nails. I think my nails were about that long. Hers are like this pink color. Mine were, what color were my nails? Were they blue? I think they were like, yeah, I think they were blue. She's wearing a like neon green mesh top, which I think is cute. It complements the pink very well. Unfortunately, that's all of the outfit that I can see because she didn't post any full bodies on her Instagram. But that's okay. Next is going to be Miss Kylie Jenner. In this photo, she is in a plane, which I don't expect anything else from Kylie Jenner. This outfit, I picked it because it's very unique. The entire thing looks like it's knitted. And if you remember, Anya Taylor-Joy did a photo shoot that we talked about where it was also a knitted outfit, except Kylie Jenner's is a suit. And I believe Anya Taylor-Joy's was a dress with a vest, maybe? I don't remember. But I think this outfit, it looks really uncomfortable. Anytime I see like something like a full outfit that was knitted, in my head, like it's like a burlap sack. So it's just not going to be comfortable. It's going to be super duper itchy, right? Like in my head, like that's what it feels like. But I know like in actuality, it's probably not like that. Another thing that I found interesting about this outfit is the shoes. So the heel part of it looks like a door stopper, like the thing that's on the back of a door. Or it could even be like on the wall to stop the door. It kind of looks like that. And the toe part of her shoe is also knitted. So I'm very curious about the structural integrity of these shoes. I would very much like to get my hands on them so that I can evaluate them further, because I am very curious about them. I can't tell if they would keep you warm or not, or if they would like be uncomfortable because they're knitted or whatever, right? So I am very interested. Next is going to be Bella Hadid. This outfit, gorgeous. She's wearing regular sneakers. They actually look kind of dirty, but that's okay. I think Bella Hadid has this like grunge. Okay, I don't want to say that because that's not necessarily true. Like this kind of like lazy girl aesthetic. And I'm not saying Bella Hadid is lazy. I'm not saying that at all. It's just very like relaxed, right? Like the fit of the pants, very relaxed. Looks like there's cherries on there and they're like purple pants. I love them. The best part of the outfit are the pants. Next is going to be Miss Brie Runaway in her all Gucci ensemble. It's giving me very much like horse trainer vibes. And in the photos that she was posting, it was exactly that. She was with a bunch of horses. It looks like a full denim suit that has like the Gucci symbol all over it. And normally, and I said this before, I'm not a huge fan of Gucci. I just, like, their products just, like, don't really speak to me. But I do think this is a cute outfit. All right, we're almost done, everybody. Next is going to be Conan Gray, the only male on this list. He's in a Hawaiian shirt with an iced coffee and a cat. And, like, literally, like, what more could I ask for? It's everything that I want from male fashion. He's wearing just simple black shorts with a oversized Hawaiian shirt, and it just screams casual, but it still seems very put together. You feel me? Last on the list of the top 10 celebrity looks of this week is Normani. She is wearing black heels with a black skirt and a black bra. That's all I need. That's all I need. That is really, like, the only thing that I've been asking for my entire life. I like this outfit because it's classy, yet it's interesting to look at. It's a go-to. Really, anybody could wear something like this. I love it. I love Normani. She's so cute. Homegirl is everything. I've been obsessed with her for the longest time. So that wraps up top 10 celebrity looks of the week. And that also wraps up this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. In this episode, we talked about myself. We talked about tattoos. We talked about Drag Race. We talked about the celebrities. We touched on it all. Remember, if you're listening to this on iTunes, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Say something nice. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button. What is the thing? The bell. Hit the bell so you get notified whenever we post a new video. The GSMC Podcast Network has a million different podcasts that are out there. If you have a topic you think you might be interested in it, we have a podcast for it. So definitely check it out. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network, from health and wellness to entertainment and life and happiness to sex and relationships. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast.